Here's a truth most guys hate. The moment you put her on a pedestal, she stops wanting you. The more you worship, the less she respects. She won't tell you that straight away, but her actions will. And if you keep trying to buy her love with your attention, you'll keep getting ghosted, friend-zoned, or ghosted again. 1. The painful truth about why good guys lose. Let's be real. Most men learn the wrong lesson about love. They grow up thinking if they're kind, loyal, and emotionally available, they'll win a woman's heart. That's the fairy tale they sell you, right? Be the nice guy. Be the one who never hurts her. But in real life, it doesn't work like that. You show her your heart too soon. She stops caring. You chase her, she runs faster. You put her first, and suddenly you're last. Now, before you think this is about blaming women, it's not. It's about understanding how attraction actually works. You can't convince someone to want you by giving more. You can't make her love you by being the safest choice. Attraction doesn't grow from safety. It grows from tension, from curiosity, from that little unknown that keeps her wondering where she stands. Let me tell you a story. There's this guy, Samir. A decent man, polite, never raises his voice, never argues. He texts her every morning, tells her how special she is, does everything to prove he's serious. For the first few weeks, she seems interested. Then slowly, she fades. She's busy, tired, not ready. And Samir is left wondering what went wrong. But here's the truth. Nothing went wrong. He just gave too much too soon. He became predictable, safe, and too easy to figure out. See, the modern woman doesn't lose interest because you're nice. She loses interest because you stop being a challenge. She doesn't want chaos or games, but she wants to feel something real. A spark, a presence, an edge. And when you remove that by trying to be everything she wants, she stops feeling that emotional tension that keeps attraction alive. You can't force desire by effort. You build it by presence. Stop performing. Stop chasing approval. You don't have to prove you're different. Just be a man who values his own time, energy, and emotions. Because once she senses that your world doesn't revolve around her, she starts wondering why. And that curiosity, that's where attraction begins. 2. Why women chase men who don't chase them. It's strange, right? You'd think the man who gives everything gets loved the most. But in reality, the man who gives less seems to get more. The guy who barely replies, who's focused on his own life, suddenly becomes the one she can't stop thinking about. Why? Because value isn't about giving. It's about perception. Let's look at it simply. Imagine 2 rings, one made of plastic, one made of gold. The gold ring isn't more useful. It's just rarer. Scarcity creates worth. Same with attention. When your attention is rare, it's gold. When it's constant, it's plastic. Women are drawn to men whose energy isn't available to everyone. Here's another thing. Women don't fall for men who need them. They fall for men who choose them. There's a difference. When you chase, you tell her subconsciously, "You're above me." When you stay grounded, you tell her, "We're equal." That shift changes everything. It's not about ignoring her or playing games. It's about making your life your priority. Work, gym, friends, your own peace, that comes first. Because the more you have going on, the less likely you'll overvalue her attention. And that's exactly when she starts to crave yours. Ever notice how she texts when you go silent? How she's curious when you stop over-explaining? It's not magic, it's human psychology. People value what's uncertain. When she knows she doesn't fully have you, her interest stays alive. It's not manipulation, it's natural polarity. She's drawn to what she can't completely predict, so stop trying to be perfect. Be busy, be unavailable sometimes. Let her earn your focus. Because when your attention costs something, it finally means something. 3. The illusion of the nice guy. Let's talk about the so-called nice guy. the one who listens, supports, and always does what's right, but never gets chosen. The world tells him he's doing it right, but he's invisible. Why? Because he mistakes being agreeable for being attractive. Being a good man and being a nice guy are not the same thing. A good man has principles, standards, and backbone. A nice guy bends himself into whatever shape he thinks she'll like. He avoids tension, avoids saying no, avoids standing up for himself. And that's exactly why she loses respect. Let's say you're talking to her and she disagrees. A nice guy nods along, even if he doesn't agree. A grounded man listens but stays firm in what he believes. That's strength, and strength is magnetic. Women don't fall for weakness disguised as kindness. They want to feel your edge, your ability to disagree respectfully, to walk away when needed, to not be shaken by silence. That's what keeps attraction alive. When she sees you can handle her moods, her space, her tests, without begging or breaking, she starts to trust your masculine energy. So stop confusing being good with being soft. Kindness without strength looks like weakness. And no one desires weakness. 4. Certainty kills desire. Here's something that messes with a lot of guys' heads. The more certain she is about your feelings, the faster her excitement fades. Sounds wrong, right? But it's true. Certainty kills curiosity, and curiosity keeps love alive. It's not about mind games. It's about balance. When you constantly remind her how much you care, how much you miss her, how much she means to you, you give her too much emotional certainty. She stops wondering. She stops feeling that spark of unpredictability. You become emotionally predictable, and predictable feels flat. Look, women don't want chaos. They want emotional movement, the feeling that they're earning your time, not just receiving it. When everything is given too easily, it loses flavor. Think about it. If you listen to your favorite song every hour, it stops hitting the same way. Same rule applies to relationships. So let her wonder a little. Let her think, what's he doing? Why didn't he text right away? Not to create anxiety, but to keep space alive. That's where attraction breathes. If she always knows what you'll do next, she stops feeling. The unknown keeps her emotionally tuned in. Certainty feels safe. But attraction? It's born in mystery. 5. Attention is her drug. Don't be her dealer. Women love attention, but too much of it makes them numb. Your attention is your currency, and if you keep handing it out like free samples, she'll never value it. Every time you double text, overcall, or comment on all her posts, you're basically saying, "My attention costs nothing." And people never respect what's free. There's a reason some guys barely talk but still hold a woman's interest. It's because they give attention with intention. It's not about ignoring her, it's about control. When your energy is rare, it feels powerful. When it's constant, it feels cheap. Ask yourself, does she really need to know everything you're doing? Does she deserve your time if she's not giving effort? You've got to filter your focus, because attention is a form of respect, and not everyone deserves that level of access. And here's the secret. When you stop giving constant attention, she starts chasing yours. Not because she's manipulative, but because scarcity triggers interest. It's not that she wants men who don't value her. She wants men whose value isn't dependent on her. That's the difference. 6. Value yourself. First, always. Here's the final truth. Women don't want men who don't value them. They want men who value themselves more. That's the core of attraction. A man who knows his worth doesn't overinvest emotionally. He doesn't try to prove himself. He chooses wisely. Stop giving love as a form of begging. Love isn't about convincing someone to choose you. It's about knowing you're worth choosing. If you build your life, your goals, your mind, your peace, you stop chasing approval. You start radiating confidence without saying a word. When a woman sees a man who could walk away without breaking, she respects him, because that's power, silent power. Not loud, not arrogant, just grounded. It says, I want you, but I don't need you. That's the line that separates attraction from desperation. So make this your rule. Value yourself so deeply that no woman's rejection can shake it. Because once you master that, everything changes. She stops being your mission. You become hers. Look, man, you don't have to stop being kind. You just have to stop giving it to people who haven't earned it. A man with standards will always be misunderstood by people who have none. But that's fine, because your peace, your focus, and your purpose will speak louder than any good morning text ever could. Remember this, the moment you stop chasing validation is the moment you start radiating value. She won't say it out loud, but she'll feel it. That shift in your energy, that calm in your presence, that's what changes everything. If this message hit you deep, drop a "I value myself first" in the comments. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Psychology Insight, where we break down the mind, the heart, and the unspoken rules of attraction. Stay grounded, stay mysterious, stay valuable. See you in the next one.